Good evening to everybody. As told in the Skype meeting, I'm doing this video tutorial in order to explain you how to use Git into Eclipse and how we will use it. I mean all the function that we need. So actually you have first to git clone your project. Git clone will allow you to work on a local copy of a remote project. So actually you will just download the sources I uploaded to GitHub, so later you can just upload your commits and your files. You have to get on the page on our GitHub page, on the project page, so you can see all the files. Just copy the clone URL that is below on the right. Just click on copy, and then when on Eclipse, use the clone a Git repository option. Actually, maybe you won't have enabled the Git overview. To enable it, you have just to press on Open Perspective and choose the Git one. Then you will have this button. Now on the left you should have the Git repository and choose the clone a Git repository. That is actually the same of doing git clone. But actually we want to use this because Eclipse just store his files where he needs. So you can use clone a Git repository or just do a new other. Just type git, open Git repository. No. Just do clone a Git repository. Pass your URL. So you will have GitHub and the repository path, that is this one. That is kinda this one with .git at the end. You have to leave connection on HTTPS, and on authentication you have to insert your user and password of GitHub. For username you have just to get on your profile, and below your name there it is. Also it's case unsensitive. You can write all downcase on all lowercase, or all uppercase, it's the same. Just write your username, your password, that is in this case sensitive. If you choose to store the password in the secure store, you won't be asked in the future to insert your username and your password. It's kinda useful. When clicking on next, you will connect to the online project and you will be able to download the branch that actually is just the master one. So be sure that master is ticked so you can download it. Click on next. You can change your directory, your Git directory, and I think that is kinda useful. For in this case I will push it in the same folder in which I'm doing the video. Yes. As initial branch, just choose master. For remote is the label you will give to a particular URL. Actually is the same of do git remote add, you can call it origin, you can call it VOP, and then you have the URL we have seen before, GitHub blah blah blah. So why do this? Because if you have the VOP or the origin remote, when you have to upload or download file that are for upload, you will use git bash from Eclipse and git fetch from Eclipse. You will have just to write VOP from command line. For Eclipse it will appear there. Let's leave origin just for this case, or you can change it. Then press on finish. It will download all the files. It will. I have already entered the secure storage password. If you have not set your secure storage password, you will ask to insert one. I'm inserting mine, and as you can see, I have downloaded in this moment all the file for the project. Now we have to open it in the Java overview. Just do git import. From general, choose import existing project into workspace. Click on next. Select as root directory the directory in which you have git cloned your project, and then click on finish. Now you have just downloaded all the file. We have a problem here, as I have to upload the physical class that Michael should send me. So actually we have a working local copy of the project. In order to upload something else, we have to use the git part. Actually, will give you a quick overview in order to explain also some git functions. Branches are kind of tracks. You can choose to follow the master one. That is, I think that it will be the one on which all of us will work. But if you want to just test locally a particular feature, you can just create a new branch with right click, switch to new branch, write something, check out it, kinda lol. Then you are because we have already checked out it, so we can make some changes in the lol branch without affecting the master one. Now I'm checking out master, as I'm gonna work on it, and also will delete lol as is useless. Remote tracking are the remote branch. Tags are kinda, you can tag a particular branch or commit. The commit is a change of the source file, and with a tag you can just take track of a particular change. Usually tags are used for track a program version when that is used on GitHub. references. Fetched is the online latest commit. As you can see, there is my my comment of the latest commit. As you can see from there, the add one is not the online last commit, is your local last commit. That could be before or after after commits. After the online one is that you made some commits and then you will have to push them online. Before, you can kinda get back into the past, and I will show you how. In the remote section we have the remotes. As I told you, the remote we added is kinda labeled to an URL that actually is the one of the project. I can just delete the remote or edit it. As you can see, the fetch remote just takes from the remote each references, but actually we have not set yet the push remote if we just want to push something online. If we just we'll do in a cleaner way. We just want to configure push remote. Just right click, configure push. As the URI will be added the common one, that is fine. Then you have to add a reference mapping. So you have to make a link between a local reference and an online one. Just click on add. For branch, just do the master one, and for remote one, the master one. Press on OK, and then you have added your reference mapping. Also, now we have also the working directory, that is kind of the directory with all the file we have. Let's admit that I want to add the file. I want to just add the I'm Fantastic file, or maybe better, let's add a simple Java class. No, that was a project. My derp. Let's add a class. Let's call it useless, as it will be useless. Click on finish. And as you see, I have the class useless. As in the name, it's useless and does nothing. You can add file to the Git Remote, to the Git repo, also from the working overview. You have just to click on right. You have just to right click, go on team menu, and then commit. Actually, it's kinda, I think, a long way. You can just do it in the Git repository. Just browse the working directory, as it will consider it is a project. Just enter the source folder and all the subfolders. As you can see, I have now here the useless.java. You have just to add to index, and now I'm ready to add a new change. In the Git staging, Git will show me what is happening. Unstage changes are the file that I changed, but I've not added in the commit. If I, for example, add a new class that is useless2, I have an unstage change that is useless2, as I have not added it. Then you have just to go on commit message, write whatever you want, kinda useless commit. Then you should just commit and push in order to push it online. But I will show you a more complete view. Just if you just push on commit and push, the file will be uploaded. But before, you have to set up your GitHub, your Git credentials. Sorry, I have kinda an awful pronunciation this evening. You have to go on Windows and Preferences, and then you have to go to on Team, Git, and on Configuration. Actually, I am on Linux, so it automatically detects my git config. The git config file is the one that has the global configuration for your Git account. The import, you can just if you have no file, just create an empty file that is git config and use it as git config. Then you have to add some important keys that are the user one. User keys show identifies you as user, so you will pop out as username and user email. If you don't do this, you have to kind of write all the stuff in the author and the committer field in for each commit, and this for me, in my opinion, is kind of boring. So you have just to go on configuration, open the team git configuration tab, and then add two different entries. For the user name, just write user dot name. In order to get into into a sub branch, you have just to write user dot lol dot name for future usage. In our case, we need the just user dot name and write your name. Mine is Giovanni Santini. Giovanni Santini. And then you have also to add your user email and add your email. Mine is Giovanni Santini 23 at yahoo.it. And then you should have something like this: user email and user name. This done, you are fine, and you will always have here your username and your user email. we already set GitHub in order to receive our commits. So if you just want now to add your commit, just press on commit and push. Actually, I'm doing commit as I'm not doing it. I think that is kinda all. If I just find just wait a second. Okay, in order to see your ref log, I mean your history, you have to go on branches and then click on Git ref log. You can see all the all your changes. Actually, I can see the useless commit, and I can push it online if I want. As you've seen, I have just committed the file without pushing it, but I can simply click on the origin, on the push one, or the push remote, that is the one with the red arrow. Click on push, and then magically the file will get online. I will show you in a more little complicated way, as I don't want to affect the master branch. You remember that I made a useless branch before? So I will use the useless branch in order to show you that the push function works. I think that actually I pushed to the master one because I'm derp. If you have a useless branch, you have to set it in order to don't track or at least you shouldn't use this for track the master branch, so you won't affect it. Actually, I made a derp, so I should now sorry, I was wrong. Okay, in order to push a local branch to a remote branch, you have to get on the push remote, configure it, and add a new mapping table. You have just to use the remote branch as the one of the local one. Just click I used advanced just to show you that I force updated. I force updated as the useless remote branch does not exist, and in this way it will be created. Okay. I will click save and push, so in this way I pushed the useless branch online. Now I'm going back to the master branch, and now I can edit it if I want. So I think that is all for the project, and I'm kinda sorry for the derp I have uploaded. Now I'm gonna revert it. So also just a few stuff of the GitHub page. If you go on the GitHub page, you have some menus. In the commit, clicking on the commit tab, you will be shown all the commits that are done. On the branches, you will see the various branches. As you see, there is master, there is useless, there is useless, as in title. Now I am removing the useless branch, as is this useless. Wonderful. Release is the tag that I described you before, and the contributor is the show all the stuff that are done in the project. As you can see, as I was just the only committer, I had most of the commits. On the right, you have the code the code tab, the issue tab, the pull request. The issue tab shows everything. Everyone on the GitHub can open an issue for our game. Pull request allow us to receive feature. A pull request actually is when someone clone your project, upload it on GitHub, and then send you a pull request, so you will send us some corrected code or somehow. Wiki, we can create a wiki. Then the other one are useless. There is the settings tab that allows you to change the default branch and delete the repository, but I think that's all. And that's all, folks. So if you have any problem, just write me on Facebook with a private message on the Facebook or on the Facebook group. Now we'll see in how much time we'll upload the video. Cheers.